and enabling our hearts to listen to what we are experiencing as humanity, and to find together possible paths to share with many other people to continue the journey towards a united world. So let's start a journey around the world, and let's find out how Dare to Care is being translated into life. There are going to be 5 experiences that can perhaps inspire our daily actions. What if I tried too? And if you tried to? And if we together tried to do this? So we're going to start our journey from Serbia, and Laura is going to accompany us. I'm Laura, I'm 23, and I'm a Gen. With the Communication Office of the Focolare, with which I collaborate, we collect concrete stories of fraternity. One is that of Janos Kalman, who's Serbian, of Hungarian nationality, and who has 3 children. He lived in a very dilapidated house without water and among uncultivated fields, and he dreamed of buying his own home, but never been able to afford it. Thanks to the compensation for an injury he suffered and the generosity of many, he finally managed to get the amount of money needed to buy his own property. But the house needed complete renovation, and he couldn't do it on his own. So the community of the Focolari got going by putting into practice the motto, Dare to Care, proposed by the Young People for a United World. And here's the video they sent us. To dedicate heart, mind, and hands to the most vulnerable and needy. This time we are in action in Bogaraš, in the heart of Vojvodina, in the region of Serbia, with a Hungarian majority. Again, this year we were able to help some people. This time we did the roof for a poor family. I have 3 children, and I live in a cottage in the middle of fields. It was a long time in my life before I was able to buy a house. At work, I had an accident to my leg, and for 10 years I was walking on crutches. Now I can stand on my leg, but can't bend the knee. The help I received is a great gift for me. We've replaced the roof tiles, and work is now underway on the inside. In fact, the point was to actually help the people who needed it. The roof is now mended. Some wooden tiles have been replaced, and all the other tiles have been replaced as well. We're now changing the ceiling. Before, it was made of compacted clay. The ceiling was made of reeds. At this point, however, we're putting in plasterboard. The work isn't only for experts such as carpenters or bricklayers, but also for volunteers who want and who can help us. Again, it was important to help people, but at the same time to help myself in the sense of getting out of my comfort zone and loving other people in a different way. Now, on our journey, we're going to go to Argentina. We'll hear from Monica Manolio, who's telling us about a wonderful activity sustained for years. There's Monica, she's on the Zoom with us. She's going to tell us about this really fantastic project that's been going on for years in a nature reserve near Buenos Aires. And her video is in Spanish. So if those who are listening Italian should choose the Italian channel.
Hello, my name is Monica Manolio, and I am from Pilar in the province of Buenos Aires. 17 years ago, we wanted to collect garbage from my family, with my family and our neighborhood. And we contacted the municipality, and they in turn contacted us together with two founders of the NGO Association Patrimonio Natural de Pilar and the Reserve of Nature del Pilar. When I got there, I didn't lose my love of plants, but I found a landfill. What inspired Graciela Capodolio and Viviana Murga to create a nature reserve and a landfill? Graciela always tells us human beings have separated themselves from nature and damaged it. When they arrived, that place was full of smoke, fire, smoke, a horrible smell. And in the same place, at the time where the swamp grew, there were otters and ducks. It was an unequal fight, and the landfill was winning. So they set up an environmental educational project. And when we presented it to the local council, they told them they needed the signatures of 100 people to support it. They got them. And the next day they presented this petition. And the next day, both the nature reserve and the NGO were created. My initial idea of being in contact with plants was changed to go out and remove the garbage. But other activities appeared. The first activity is the origin classification recycling program. In the beginning, we were the ones sorting the garbage. Then we came into contact with the cooperative of urban recyclers of the party. And therefore, also with this social aspect, we started to work. Urban cleaners can have a decent way of working without picking up garbage on the streets. We were at the headquarters that received all the material, already separated it, and they come in once a week to collect it. Another important theme is environmental education, whether it is systematic and non-systematic, with the nature reserve or in the institutions that require it. In 2019, 40 schools came to visit us, and some of them came more than once. They also hold conferences. A fundamental activity is the nursery of native plants. It started because people, when they understood about the importance of these plants, the relationship between them and wild animals, for example, their relationship with butterflies, many of us ask, why are there so few butterflies? So when the relationship they had with native plants was explained to them, and the nearest plant nursery was 120 kilometers away, a nursery of native plants, this was created with the nursery El Cachafaz, many of which come to visit it, to take plants, landscapers, companies, neighbors. Another place we volunteer is in the reserve itself, which has 150 square kilometers, 6 kilometers of coastline on the Lujan River. It is what we call an open air classroom, and it is for all ages, for different groups and different realities. University students, a university has even come to volunteer from New York. Students from local schools, religious groups, photographers, interns in a neuropsychiatric hospital, elderly people, companies that come to carry out some activities for corporate social responsibility. And as far as possible, we accompany volunteers. I believe that each person has their own natural heritage to discover, starting from their own home, and then looking around, and if they can, look further and try to make that place go back to being as God thinks, which will always be in favor of people. To contribute with our tiny contribution according to our beliefs to taking care of all of creation. Thank you for listening.
Even little children are listening to the cry of humanity. and they too are setting out to make a concrete contribution. Gladys, a 7-year-old Gen 4 from Paris, is telling us what they've done to help needy families in Haiti. She speaks French, so if you want to listen in Italian, select the Italian channel, please. Hello, my name is Gladys. I'm 8 and I live near Paris. With a Gen 4, we raise money to buy seeds for Haiti. Thanks to these seeds, Haitian families will be able to grow vegetables and eat. I sold my scooter, my bike seat, and my balance bike. In total, we raised 1,035 euros.
I Gen 4 e i Gen 4 sono fantastici.
The Gen 4 boys and girls are amazing. So, what does sport have to do with integral ecology? I read a reflection by some Salesians who are experts in the pastoral care of sport, and after the publication of the encyclical Laudato Si, they emphasize the fact that thinking about sport, pastoral care of sport from the point of view of an integral ecology obliges everyone to change their style and their mentality from a personal point of view, and also puts before us the need for a change of style and mentality at the community and pastoral level, for a strategic reorganization and rethinking of our sports groups, their aims, and their relationship with the parish and the local territory. This is very interesting. Taking care of the well-being of others can also be expressed through a sporting practice based on attention towards others, even before you get results, and through physical activity that takes into account the integrity of the person. Luca, who's part of the Inundation of Sport Meet, tells us about his experience. So then stretch and come back. My name is Luca and I'm a physical trainer. I like to combine sports with the well-being of the person. I've been training with Luca for years. When the person arrives and feels loved, they feel loved by doing their training program. It's fantastic. It's fun. You start the day well, very tired but happy. You don't want to do anything at all, but you leave being very satisfied with yourself. Sport is physical activity and therefore fundamental. As an athlete, I learned what it means to train, plan, make sacrifices, and even lose. But I also learned that in life, you're not only a sports person, but you're someone who plays sports. So I'm married and I have a 4-month-old baby girl. And it's these two things that make me understand that there are more important things than mere sports performance. And it's important to know how to manage everything to ensure that we become better people and not just better athletes. As for sport and physical activity, they are important because they help us take care of ourselves. I try to do just that with other people. I train them, first of all, to get to know them, to get in touch with their own selves and to understand what's best for them. Physical activity is something that gives us the opportunity to express ourselves, but what's behind it is very important. Our first goal must be through physical activity to feel better about ourselves and to give ourselves a way of expressing ourselves in a 360-degree way. Taking care of yourself means that we're able to feel good even apart from the times when we're doing sport. Within sport, however much you might be passionate about it or be good, it's always a small part of our day, a part of life. It's important that what we do when we're doing sport is useful in all the other hours. I try to teach this too in my work. I feel great when I do sport, but I feel good also the other 23 hours when I'm not. So it's important to try to do an integrated preparation for everyday life and then make sure that the training program is included within the specific life that person is leading, helping them understand that what they're doing isn't just being better with oneself, but is improving ourselves to do good. This is my experience. I might have been a bit serious, but I'm definitely less comfortable in front of a camera than on the pitch. But I can tell you, taking care of yourself is an important thing and that we all have the opportunity to do it. Thanks. See you soon. Now we're going on a very long journey because we're flying all the way to Oceania and we're going to the island. We're going to say hello to the island, people on the island of Wallis. On the island of Wallis, there is a whole community that is sensitive to ecology, and they're going to tell us how environmental care and personal care are closely connected and can build unity at various levels. Thanks very much to Eva Pelletier, Ophélie Pelletier, and Carlotta Raimondo for the resources they have provided us.
When ecology becomes an occasion to reconcile. Wallis and Futuna are islands on the South Pacific with Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa as their closest neighbors. Wallis is part of a beautiful archipelago with coral reefs and many islets. However, there is also a lot of waste surrounding it, from plastic to tires, from old furniture to glass residues. All this continues to disfigure not only the beauty of the place, but also the flora and fauna. The political situation also contrasts with the beauty of the place. After the death of the king of the island in 2005, in fact, two opposing parties for the leadership were formed. And in 2016, tensions worsened with the enthronement of two kings, each of whom does not recognize the authority of the other, causing a strong division that continues to persist in society, which is thus split into two opposing blocks. It is in this context that the Focolare community of Wallis has decided to carry out an ecological project, which over time has also become a tool for encounter and reconciliation. Eva Pelletier, founder of the project, told us the project began in 2015 in response to the encyclical of Pope Francis, Laudato Si. Since that moment, the community of Wallis has never stopped organizing the so-called cleaning days, i.e. ecological days, all over the island. In these 6 years, the project has grown from every point of view. The number of participants, public and official officers involved who offer their concrete support, awards, tons of waste collected to date amount to 20 tons, the tons they collected. Ecology in itself belongs to the whole of humanity, but for Wallis it has become a pretext. It allowed the two fractions to work together for their own home. Eva says, in 2018, after careful reflection, we went to present our tributes to the two leaders of a district, first presenting the encyclical Laudato Si, and then asking for permission to clean their beaches. We invited them to participate in our ecological day. Well, not only were the two leaders there, but all the people of that district were with them too. And it was amazing because people from opposing political groups no longer used to meet, even if they were from the same family. But one day we gave them the opportunity to talk again, to share a coffee, a beautiful moment. The two leaders were present. There was the prefect, and there were the king's ministers, and we as a community of the Focolare to unite everyone. Avery defines it as the ecology of reconciliation. This moment served as a symbol of hope and unity for the whole island. In 2020, the same thing happened in another district where one of the two fractions had redone the roof of a chapel. And for the first time, some people from the opposite political group went to help. From this episode, we realize how much care for the environment and care for the person are effectively interconnected, each leading to the other to a cause and effect. The presence of young people was the key to the success of the project. Their presence inspired the elders to participate. The project was also educational in helping to change daily habits. Avery explains, during each cleaning day, there is also a training on separate collection methods so that each participant can put it into practice correctly at home. The Focolare community of Wallis is committed to living for its people and its land in this project. Their engagement has encouraged a wide variety of people from diverse religious and cultural backgrounds to do the same and to rediscover themselves as neighbors in their own common home.